Right, well, I think we'll start. About 5 minutes past the scheduled start time, so we'll get going here. So I see from the poll that you're unsure of which tool you'll use or what program you'll use. So the two I'm going to show you today are Inspiration and Kidspiration. You have some experience with Prezi already, not for brainstorming or mind mapping, but you do have some experience with it. So hopefully, if you do choose to go that route, you'll have a quick look at it, and you might be able to see how it can be used for brainstorming ideas. All right. I'm going to start off with Kidspiration. And I'm going to show you, just let me know if this works, first of all. I'm going to start screen sharing here. Okay, now you should see my screen. You guys on your screen up here should have a maximize button. If you click on that, it maximizes the amount of space used up for the screen share, but then you lose your chat area and list of attendees. So you can decide whether or not you want to use that. I'm going to pull that out of the way to my other screen, and then you guys should see my, well, this is the inspiration, but I want the Kidspiration first. All right, just type in there if you can see this. Do you see my Kidspiration up there? All right, excellent. Thanks, Kim. Okay, with the Kidspiration, it's very similar to Inspiration. The only difference really is that Kidspiration is more child-friendly for younger kids. Not as many buttons, not as many features. You do lose some of the features that Inspiration has, but you do gain a little bit just in terms of it being a little easier to navigate for the young kids. The example I want to use for you comes from a teacher in Humboldt, a grade 2 teacher by the name of Jen Hintz. An excellent example. You can find hers on the Wave 2 CAP, grade 2-3 group, Jen Hintz, if you want to have a look at her lesson. What she used Kidspiration for is mind mapping her brainstorm, or not really brainstorm, but more of a building a web of what her kids understood about measurement. So she started off, when you open up Kidspiration, this is what you see, or I guess this is what you would start off seeing. And you click on Picture View, and then you get to here. From here, her main idea was measurement. And type it in, click anywhere in the white space off to the side, and it becomes a little bubble. Now, what she did, she put up some words and some pictures of measurement stuff that they were going to be taking and asked the kids to draw or write what they knew already about those things. So with those starters, she might have had them come up with some ideas like, well, we measure the days of the week. We use rulers to measure. And as they came up with ideas and read from what they had written in their math notebooks or math journals about those starters that she put up on the board, she would fill this information in just the way I am here. We know, come up with kilogram as a form of measurement, so is centimeter. Minutes. Thursday is a form of measurement, or is a measurement of a day of the week. Right, now from this information, she would talk to them and find out from them, well, they know that Thursday is the day of the week. So they would arrange it something like this, click this link button, and link days of the week to Thursday. They might also link measurement to days of the week. If measurement is our main topic, days of the week is a subtopic, and a subtopic of days of the week is Thursday. Something else might be in here in terms of time. Time is a measurement. So that link may go here, and then they may decide, oh, well, days of the week should be a subtopic of time. So if you click on this arrow, grab the white little handle here, drag that over to time, and let go, it moves to be one for time. And basically what they did is they finished filling this in with all the information that they knew, linking things up. Oops. Use rulers to measure. These actually might all be measurement of length. And once they had their complete map of everything they knew about measurement so far, once they had it all built out, she saved it. And that gave her a good idea of what their background knowledge was in measurement, areas that needed focus throughout the lesson, and areas that needed expansion throughout the unit. So for the next few weeks, they were studying measurement, and then they came back to this partway through the unit, and they decided to add to it. And by adding to it, what they decided to do is, okay, now they've learned some more things. Well, we know all the days of the week, so they might add in more days of the week. And what they did is they added them in a different color. So to do that, what they did was they would click here and they would add, well, you know, Monday is the day of the week, but this is something that we maybe learned new, a new topic. So they would go in here and they click on this fill color button. If you hold your mouse over it, it says fill color. Click on that, and let's use a light blue for that one, because that's something new that we learned. Something else new that they learned might be maybe they learned to measure volume. So they create a new bubble, volume, and now because my color here is blue, it's going to automatically put that as blue. That is a measurement, and they maybe know that in measuring volume, one of the things you use to measure volume is the liter, and they can connect those up. And from here, then they build a map that fills in all the other new things that they've learned in a different color and gives a very good representation, visual representation of the stuff they knew before the unit and the stuff that they know now. In behind here now, if we click on the Go to Writing view, up in the top corner here, it looks like a little cue card. Click on that, and we now have sort of an outline view of what we have here. And maybe there's some more information that they want that the teacher can fill in here on the blue line. The pink line is what shows up inside the bubble in the picture view. The blue line is sort of background information. So length can be measured with a ruler it is a distance. Now, I'm not a grade 2 teacher here, so I don't know much about their curriculum, what all they would actually be learning about here, but let's go with that for now. And if we pop back here, we see that there's not actually any more information showing up in the picture view, but it is still here in the writing view. So that's Kidspiration, and an idea of how to use it for building background knowledge and then filling in the new things that you learn as you go. Are there any questions about that, Kim or Corey? And hello, Joe. I see you're here now too. Thanks, Joe. Welcome. Kim, Corey, any questions? Okay. All right, well, this, like I said, a good example of how to use it to build a map, a visual map of background knowledge, and fill in the new knowledge that you build throughout a unit. You can remember, you can save it and just keep coming back to it. What I want to look at now is inspiration. Again, same idea. We build bubbles and we build lines out from those bubbles to create concept maps. The concept map idea I want to use for inspiration as an example comes from Dave Hill, principal of Humboldt Public and a grade 6 science teacher. I'll just give you a little bit of background on what he did for his lesson. They were working on the space unit, and they wanted to look at, maybe I'll just even bring it in here, right here. The outcome was evaluate past, current, and possible future contributions of space exploration programs, including space probes and human spaceflight, which support living and working in the inner solar system. Okay, so what they decided to do was a moon base. They decided to brainstorm what you would need to live on a moon base. And here's what they came up with. What Dave had them do was, Dave was the facilitator of this lesson. He went out and he told the kids, I just want to know what you'd need to live on the moon. And kids started shouting out answers. He had another student, because he's grade 6, a little bit older kids, he picked one with really good typing skills and said, you're going to record the ideas. And that freed up Dave to move around the classroom, draw ideas from kids that maybe weren't contributing, and really getting the whole class involved. And I thought, wow, what a great idea to have, one of your faster typers, put them in charge of actually doing the typing and the creating of the bubbles, so that Dave could be more of a facilitator of the actual brainstorming. So they threw out all these ideas, and it didn't look like this at first. It was a mess. There were ideas spread out all over the place. Once they were pretty much out of ideas, they'd exhausted everything, they started to group things. And they grouped them around different things that seemed to be similar about them. For instance, shower, steel and metal, bedrooms, beds, shelter, clock, solar power. These all had to do with buildings. Sports, hot tub to relax in, TV and swimming pool, those are entertainment things. Because if we're living on the moon for several months, even years, we're going to need some entertainment. First aid station, medicine, and escape pod, those are all safety things. And they started to group these things. And then they color-coded them. And they went in and they made all the ideas gray and put circled them around a little box, yellow box, of the idea type. From there, he built this assignment. Use the graphic organizer that we built as a class to create a drawing or blueprint of your proposal for a moon base. Key elements include neat effort, labels with necessary descriptions, and include as many important elements from the brainstorm as you feel your base will need. So in other words, as a class, they brainstormed, a free brainstorm, threw all the ideas up there that they could, of what they would need to live on the moon base, and then the assignment is take that free brainstorm and build a blueprint of one. Now, when I was talking to Dave about the assignment, yeah, in the brainstorm they got ideas that were pretty off the wall and not really necessary. But they put them onto the brainstorm at first anyway, put them all up there, and then once they had all the ideas that they could onto the board, then when they started grouping and regrouping things, they would meld similar ones together, and some that as a class, if they decided, well, that doesn't really apply to this brainstorm, they would nix it all together and delete it. But in the start, they would just throw the ideas up there as best they could. So you might have a question now, okay, well, this is good, I've got some ideas now of how to use brainstorming or concept mapping for my class and in my grade level and subject that your CAP group is. But how do I actually use inspiration? How do I actually get it to look like this? Well, there are some really good tutorial videos. If you go to the Help, Learn to Use. When you do that, you get a little window that pops up, and you go to Training Videos. And if you walk through all these training videos, you'll have a very good understanding of how to actually use the program. They're really well done. Nice little training videos. There is also some examples in here, which you may also want to use for this project as starters, where they give you a bit of a starter. For instance, maybe your brainstorming is going to be, let's brainstorm characteristics of Harry Potter. Well, here's an example of one. Influences on his character. Let's go back to Learn to Use. Actually, let's not go to Learn to Use. Let's go to New. And there's also templates. So this is an example that's all filled out. There's also some templates that are not filled out. For instance, if we go to character analysis, here's another one where we have the character in the center and the traits out from it. But the actual how to use the video, I think, or how to use inspiration is best found in the Learn to Use training videos. Go through those, watch them. They'll give you a good understanding of how to use the program, how to create the bubbles, how to change the colors, all those things. So, any questions? Not yet. Maybe once you get started planning the lesson, hey Kim? Okay, do you have an idea of which one you might want to use? Prezi, let's go back to our poll. Inspiration, Kidspiration, Prezi, or other? What are you thinking you'll use, Kim? Inspiration. All right. And Corey, what do you think you're going to use? Inspiration. All right. So definitely check out those videos. And the example I used in Kidspiration of building a concept map of background knowledge and then filling it in can be done in Inspiration too. It doesn't have to be done in Kidspiration. But those are just two examples that I want to give. Building a map of background knowledge and just free brainstorming. Examples that were done by teachers in the CAP program that came before you. So if there aren't any other questions, then I guess we'll end the webinar now. And hopefully this helped you guys. It will be put up as a recording on the website as well if you do want to come back and review anything. You're welcome, Kim. You're welcome, Corey. You're welcome, Joe. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye now.